Hey guys, welcome. I hope you're all having a great day. Thanks for tuning into the tarot read. Let's go ahead, let's jump on into it. Get started. We'll see what's coming today. Remember guys, this is going to be another general read, so it may or may not resonate with you, or it might be sort of bits and pieces. You'll know what messages are meant for you because they're just going to feel right. Oh, what a way to start the read. So we do have that universe card. Whenever she appears in my read, she speaks of universal life lessons or universal path. You know, it's really funny because as I was sitting down, as I was preparing, as I was cleansing my space, I just kept getting like this karma vibe, like what goes around comes around, sort of like the pendulum has swung as far as it's going to go one way is now coming back the other way. So there might be sort of universal life lessons to be learned coming about in this read. When someone's moving forward and starting a new beginning, it's bringing a lot of changes into their life, and it's sort of slow changes. Like healing is definitely involved here, healing of the heart, and someone's having to sort of be patient with themselves while they're going through these changes. But I feel positivity in this new beginning. There's a lot of positivity. It's like the universe is smiling on somebody who is doing the work to earn their good karma. So even though things might be a little bit rough here and there, the direction that this person is headed in, it's almost like the universe is sort of having a hand in sort of blessing it, so to speak. You have conflict and defeat. And we're dealing with, okay. So there's two different energies in this read. There's like somebody who's moving in a positive direction. And then there's somebody who's sort of moving in a more negative direction. And it could be because of behavior based on the past. Like somebody had more negative tendencies, maybe didn't want to sort of do their own shadow work to be able to process feelings. Because I feel like two energies split. So like we had to go different ways. We had to go our separate ways. And one energy followed a positive path. They followed this positive new beginning, patience for healing and growth. There's somebody who embraces their intuition and their spiritual side. And there's positive rewards coming on that behalf. And then I feel like there's somebody who's still sort of stuck in it. Somebody who can't find clarity. Somebody who's still sort of, I don't want to say necessarily that they're feeling sorry for themselves, but they're really having a hard time recognizing the part that they actually had to play in this relationship sort of coming apart, or two people parting ways, because it takes two, right? It takes two people to work. And I feel like one person tried to put it all in there, one person really tried to make it work, and somebody didn't recognize how much of an impact their behavior had towards the situation. So within that, they weren't able to sort of make any changes or find sort of that insight to sort of step outside themselves and see that if they were able to admit to what they were doing, if they were able to recognize their behavior and the contribution it made, it's like they couldn't make that change. That's something that they weren't ready to do. And maybe just hadn't evolved to that point yet. They might be on a different point in their universal path. And there's some life lessons to be learned here. We're going to see what the Gilded Tarot has to say about all of this. Yeah, see, and this is where this secondary party is sort of stuck at. They're stuck in like this Five of Cups way of being, sort of mourning the past, focusing on the negative. Again, having a hard time sort of stepping back, getting that perspective, seeing that they contributed to the situation. And so they're sort of taking this like it was done to me. Like I had nothing to do with it. It's all somebody else's fault. Someone was being mean to me. Instead of recognizing like, hey, if I would have stepped up, if I would have done this, if I would have tried to contribute to the solution, then maybe things could have worked out. And somebody else is finding, see, this is what this Ten of Pentacles is, and this is all the positivity I was feeling going from sort of one end, one energy of the situation. Somebody is working towards abundance. Somebody is doing their shadow work. Somebody is choosing to heal. Somebody is choosing to sort of rebuild their personal and their home life and embracing their spirituality and their intuition. To that person, that is extremely important, intuition and spirituality. But this other person is sort of, I don't know if they're just on a lower vibration. They're not on the same place on their life journey as this other person is. So we do have this Lovers card here. And unfortunately, in this case, I hate to say it, guys, but I do feel like there may have been a third party involved. And it would be from this person who did not want to recognize how their behavior has affected things. It's from this sort of this lower vibrational person, this person who is sort of on a different journey, or sort of further behind on their universal journey in life. And we have justice. See, I kept feeling like karma, like we're reaping our rewards, right? Like somebody's moving in a positive way. Somebody's pushing forward, making the effort to heal, making the effort to sort of rebuild and connect with themselves and their spirituality. And so positive things are going to come their way. This patience card, just like this figure is growing this flower in their hand. They're growing this beautiful flower, and this is what this person is working towards. They have positive, good karma that they're building, that they will wind up reaping the benefits of. And then somebody's just sort of sitting and stewing in it. And it was somebody who made choices, negative choices, that contributed to two people parting ways. And I feel like they are getting their side of karma for that. And it's not just like one big event that's happening to them. It's sort of like a mindset that they're living in every single day. So I know we always think of karma as like sort of one big thing hitting someone. But for this person, it's not. For this person, it's like an everyday thing. It's like having to live in their own skin, having to live in this negative way of being. I do believe that whatever this was, this relationship on the side, this third party thing, was toxic, was unhealthy. So they're having to deal with the emotional side of that, and with having that go to shit, whether they're still living in it or it's come apart. And things coming back into balance. And they're coming back into balance based on people's choices and what they chose for balance. So again, like I just keep seeing it in the cards. Somebody chose a positive balance. Somebody chose to work on themselves, to find that temperance. And somebody else was choosing negativity. They were choosing to enter other relationships. And like really superficial. I don't get like deep spiritual connection with what they were going to. I feel like they could have had this spiritual connection with the party that they pushed away with their behavior. That person was capable of building a deep spiritual connection with someone. They weren't afraid of sort of doing the work, of putting their heart on the line, of really investing truly, putting into this relationship. They were someone who you have a spiritual union with. That is somebody who is absolutely capable of that. What they went to is someone who's not. What they went to is someone who's, we can call them a lower vibrational. It's sort of very, very superficial. So you're never going to get that deep bond. If that's something that you're looking for, you're never going to find it with that party. See, and now they're recognizing how much those traditional values actually mean to them. And this is part of their Five of Cups. This is part of their sitting and their stewing in it. This is part of their feeling sorry for themselves and realizing that they gave up somebody who was a better partner, someone who they could have had a spiritual union with, someone who wasn't afraid of hard work, someone who was steady, someone who was honest and loyal, who they could count on in the long run and lean on for strength too when they needed it. And what they went to was someone who is not, someone who they can't count on. They went to the superficial person. And like I said, it either went to shit and they split ways, or they're still living in it and it's toxic. And again, just feeling sorry for themselves, but not finding clarity. That Eight of Wands. See, that Eight of Wands is connected with temptation. This person is actually tempted to reach out to the person they walked away from. They're having sort of this time of, and I don't, it is on some level, it is introspective. I don't know that they gained 100% clarity on how they've contributed to the situation. I know that from their side, I can feel the emotions through the card. This person feels very sorry for themselves. I don't know that they're gonna give a proper apology or really acknowledge their behavior or really understand the gravity of their actions and the heartache that it caused somebody else. But they're looking at it to the point where they feel very sorry for themselves and they do regret their choice. For whatever reason, even if it's just selfish reasons, they do regret their choice. And they are having a little bit of that hermit there. It's like they're wanting to reach out though too. They're tempted. They're tempted to communicate. They're tempted to try and go back. I don't get the vibe that they're completely done with whatever their karmic situation is. Like there's still some sort of hanging on there, whether they're living with this person or still casually seeing them. Like whatever it is, it's toxic. So them reaching out to the person who's trying to heal and move forward, it's like their situation isn't completely clean. They're not completely unattached. They're not completely insightful. Again, it's sort of like looking for a better situation for themselves. This person is, like I said, they're on a universal life path. We all are. We're all there on sort of different stages. We're there sort of finding different insight, and some of us are able to sort of look a little bit deeper into our behavior and see how we contribute to shit. And other people are still sort of struggling with that. This secondary party is still definitely struggling with that. That is still one of their main struggles, is seeing how their behavior affects other people. What they do see is this other party moving on. The party who they hurt and split ways from, starting a new beginning, finding this beautiful Nine of Pentacles energy in their healing, finding that sort of that self-esteem again, that self-confidence, building abundance in their life. And they're feeling stuck now. They're feeling trapped in the situation that they created for themselves and extremely unhappy. And they're starting to get, like I said, on some level, they're starting to get some insight as to what they let go of what they gave up. They gave away that spiritual union, the potential for that deep spiritual union. And somebody had those, like I said, those solid traditional values, who was a solid partner, someone who would have their back through thick and thin, all of those beautiful things, and they stepped away for it for something selfish. That Empress, it's like nurturing, this beautiful, nurturing, growing energy. And this does belong to the energy of the person who's doing their shadow work, the person who's embracing change, who's on this positive path. This is what they're going to see. They're going to see positive things in their life. They're going to see growing. They're going to see a beautiful new chapter, like this flower that this patience figure is growing in her hand. This is this person's future here. And the other person is starting to see that. They look at them and they can see them moving in this more positive way. They can see that somebody has chosen to do whatever work they had to do to actually make their own wheel of fortune turn in a more positive way. And the person who stepped away from all of this, like, this was sad. This was a lot of heartache. Somebody really hurt them. Somebody was extremely selfish and really broke their heart. But for them being able to walk away, this new chapter, this new beginning, it is an emotional victory for them. I feel like this is a huge step in their personal evolution and finding personal happiness, sort of setting boundaries and really sort of reconfiguring their life in a way where their priorities and their values are more center stage than they have been in the past with whoever this other person was. As this other person, even though they had to try and they had a relationship with them. They tried to sort of build that foundation, build that home life. The other person just didn't have the same sort of level of evolution to contribute to that relationship. Like, they couldn't invest properly because they were on two different points in their universal journey. So this person is now able to sort of establish this level in their life, and that they won't settle for less than this. If they're going to take another partner in, it's going to be somebody who can match them and somebody who can contribute, not somebody who's going to take away. And that person is finding abundance. They are finding happiness since all of this came to an end. It's not easy, but they are rebuilding. They're focusing on themselves. They're focusing on their values. They're focusing on their choices and their priorities. They're being very careful, again, about how they build their life, who they let within their circle. And the secondary party is being able to observe this on some level. So however they're connected, or if they're watching through social media, or they sort of still run in the same social circles, they are aware of this person moving on and moving forward. They are aware that their choice is probably a pretty shitty one, that they landed themselves in a really shit situation that they absolutely regret, that on some level they feel completely trapped in. And they are extremely pissed off. And it's like, but they still don't see the gravity. Whoever this is, this secondary party, they're on their own universal life journey, and they haven't made it to the evolutionary point where they can really step outside themselves and completely understand the gravity that their choices bring to the people around them. Alrighty guys, I hope that you enjoyed the read. If it resonated with you, please feel free to comment and feel free to give a thumbs up and a subscription. It definitely helps the channel out, guys. Take care.